Okay. Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel. So today is kind of a different video because usually I come on here and I'm kind of like telling you guys ideas, giving you the things that I know, but today is different. Today we're going to be talking about something that I am not an expert at. I kind of struggle with this a lot. And it's work-life balance as a teacher. Now, if you came to me 2 years ago, before this pandemic hit, I would probably have told you that I'm good at work-life balance, you know? Like it's 4:30 and I leave school and I go home and I forget about work. And that was me, that was real, that was legit. But this year with the pandemic, it's been a totally different experience. I struggled a lot. I struggled a lot with work-life balance and with managing my time the way I really want to. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you think that's something that you would enjoy, then keep on watching. Alright, hello again friends. Welcome to Nerdybug's Teacher Corner. This is the corner of the internet where we talk about teaching, life, and mindset. And today we're going to be focusing on the mindset side of things. So it's kind of funny because I was writing the tips I had, or the tips that I wanted to share, and then I realized that the tips I wanted to share ended up being the things that I'm actually struggling with. So it's kind of like this weird situation where it's like I have things to share but then I don't actually follow my own advice, or not that I don't follow it, but that I have a hard time following it. So one thing I struggle with is staying consistent with a routine. So for example, I'll tell myself, this is the time I want to wake up, this is the time I want to work, and then at 5 o'clock, that will be the time limit, 5 p.m. I mean. Okay, that will be like the time limit for my work, and then I'm going to enjoy and do personal stuff. And then I maybe achieve it for like a few days, if that, and then I don't really follow through, and it's just like, ugh, I don't know, I kind of have a hard time staying consistent, especially now, because I feel like before when we were in school, the school gives you a structure, right? Like the school, you know what time you have to be in the school, you know what time you can leave, and so I at least would take the opportunity to go. But now, when you're kind of at home, I know some of you are in school, but I'm sort of directing this more so, this part, to those people who are at home. You need to have so much more self-control, and surprisingly, I thought that that was going to be something that I was going to be good at, self-control and managing myself, and then I realized that it's so much harder than I thought. So I have so much newfound respect for people who work for themselves, for people who have businesses, and yeah, basically don't need anybody telling them what to do and they still do it. The point is that I realized how hard it was for me to manage my time and stick to a routine when nobody is managing me or nobody's telling me what to do. Next, something I also struggle with is putting too much on my plate, which is kind of hard because I feel like I find it easy to say no to other people when it's something I don't want to do. Like, I don't have a hard time saying no to them, but I have a hard time saying no to myself. If I want to do something, if I get excited about the project, if I get excited about, I don't know, just something that sparks some sort of inspiration and creativity in my mind, I find it hard to say no to myself and be like, Maria, like you have so much already, you don't need another thing, right? So I feel like it's kind of hard to have good work-life balance when there's something that you want to do that's work-related, that takes up time, but you want to do it. You want to do it, and so that's not something that I really know where's the limit. But I think if you want to do it and it makes you happy, shouldn't you do it? Isn't that going to be good for your mental health? But if it's work related and if it implies effort and energy, should you also decide not to do it? I don't know. Trying to find the balance with enjoying what you do and doing things that you love, but also learning when to say no to yourself if it's too much on your plate already. Next. Okay, this one is kind of a struggle, but I've come a long way since my first year teaching, and it's stop caring so much about aesthetics. Nobody cares. Well, you care. Other teachers might care, parents might care, but the kids definitely do not care if your props and your materials are the right shade of blue, and if they're cut perfectly, and if they're all equal to each, all the materials are symmetrical and equal, and the kids don't care. And I feel like in my first year of teaching, I would put way too much effort trying to get the materials to look nice. And I still struggle with this a bit, but for me it's not a struggle anymore, because right now it's kind of like, I do it because that inspires me. When I use materials that I think look good, it inspires me to just be more excited about the lesson. But at least now, I don't spend more time than I actually want to making a material that, for example, making a material that I'm really only going to use for 5 minutes in my class, which is something that was so frustrating, was having to spend more than an hour making a material for a game that you're literally gonna use for 5 minutes in class. So the kids don't care if your things look pretty, the kids don't care if it looks perfect. It's all in the delivery. If you come to class with energy, with excitement, with willingness and readiness to have fun, that is going to make much of a bigger impact on your class than pretty materials. And I think that's relevant to say in this video, because caring less about those things implied spending less time working and being able to achieve more work-life balance. So that is something that I kind of struggle with, but I am improving and I am getting better at that. So let me know if Pinterest has also eaten up your brain cells and brainwashed you to think that aesthetic is more important than it really is. Okay. Next one. Ask help whenever possible. Something I still struggle with a bit. I do see the difference when I ask for help, or I do think that a lot of times it's really just my pride that's getting in the way of me asking for help. And it's not that I don't want to bother them or that people aren't available for me. So I ask for help, especially from specific people that I know are willing to help me, but it is still something I struggle with, for sure, because I don't know what it is about teachers, or at least the teachers I know. Let me know if you guys are also like this, but there's something about wanting to make your own materials. I'm not sure if you're like this, hopefully you're not, but from the people I know, if there's a teacher before you and she had all these materials for her class and then you're the one replacing her, I feel like it's not so common to use the materials of the teacher before you, but to make your own. And I get that to a certain degree it's like you want to personalize it, but to a certain degree, like, what's the point? Like, if you can save yourself time by just getting the help that that person is offering you, why don't we take it, right? And again, the reason I'm making this video is because I struggle with these things. So I'm not saying that, oh, I am so good at asking for help. No, I'm not. But I do think about it. I do question myself. Why don't I accept help as often as I probably could? Hopefully we can get better at that. Okay, I think this is going to be the last one. And this one is something that I think I'm good at. And I think it's something that I am good at now, but because I struggled with it a lot before. And it's being kind to yourself. I talk about this a lot, I preach about this a lot, but I just really think it's important. I think that we need to be kind to ourselves, because if we go a little bit deeper now, okay, I think that you are the only person that's going to be with you for the entirety of your life. Other people come and go, even people like your parents that love you a lot, they're not there for the entirety of your life. And if you're going to be the person that's with you all your life, if you're the person, if your body, your mind is the person who's with you, who's putting up with you, who's loving you, who's taking care of you, then you need to be kind to that person, right? So for example, think of yourself in two different entities, okay? So you are a person who works a lot, who puts a lot of effort into the things that they do, who maybe puts effort in taking care of their body, maybe you put effort in doing things for other people, you're just doing a lot. And then there's the you that let's say it's your mind, and for some reason, you still don't think that you are enough. And so just imagine if it were two different people. Just imagine if this were somebody else. And you were doing so much effort, you were doing all these things, and then somebody else is like, oh, but it's not enough. That doesn't seem fair, right? And I don't know, at some point I had this realization of like, how freaking rude am I to tell myself that I'm not doing enough when I'm putting all this effort in? I think that's one of the reasons that I always try to be kind to myself. If, for example, I can't, sort of tying back into work-life balance, if there are times where I can't get as far as I would have wanted to do that day or that week, I tell myself, yeah, but look at all you did. Are you seriously going to beat yourself up for those things that you didn't do? How unfair for this you know? I think I do still struggle with it a bit, but honestly, I feel like as a kid or as a teenager, I was so hard on myself. And so the point where it changed or where it clicked, I don't think I could ever go back to being that mean to myself. Just because I know what it feels like. And when I see it from the outside perspective, I'm like, yeah, no way I'm gonna talk to myself like that again. No way I'm gonna be that hard on myself again. And I feel like sometimes teachers, we can be hard on ourselves because we really do love our job. For the most part, like, teachers really have a passion and a love for their job, and they want to give we want to give so much of ourselves to our job, to the kids, to school. But sometimes when we can't reach everything we would want to reach, I don't even feel like, I know that we need to be kind to ourselves and to put things into perspective. I feel like we cannot be too hard on ourselves, and yeah, just show yourself a bit of kindness. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to film for today. I hope that you kind of enjoyed this conversation. It was kind of different for me because instead of just sort of sharing ideas and tips that I think you could use, I feel like this was more of a conversation, although I'm literally just talking to myself, if we're being honest. But I would really love it if you would share your side of the conversation in the comments, or maybe you could follow me on Instagram and send me a DM there, okay? Share your tips, share something that you think helps you have good work-life balance as a teacher, or share your struggles, something that you have a hard time with. I think that's all for today. Bye!